Bruno David Gallery is pleased to present this series of exhibitions. There are 4 new exhibitions for the beginning of our 13th season here at the Gallery.
Who Discovers the Discoverer is my second solo show here at the Bruno David Gallery. The title of this exhibition was actually inspired by a photograph of a protest that I saw of a Caribbean man holding up a sign. It said, "Christopher Columbus was discovered by the Caribbeans at sea." Since we're all told that Christopher Columbus discovered the Caribbean islands and North America, it's interesting to see the story from the other side. Growing up, a lot of the art that I saw in my own culture, the Guinean culture, was art done as performative or art done for the public. The exhibition has photographs and videos that reflect my explorations in the capital cities of Spain, France, and Portugal. One of the main characteristics of all the works in this exhibition is my attire. It's a public school uniform in Ghana, and I actually wore this school uniform right from grade 1 all the way to grade 6. One of the joys with creating this body of work was really picking up the school uniform and contextualizing it to today, right? And reliving my experiences and even asking more of history. I want to challenge viewers to challenge the normalcy of certain histories that we've heard over and over again that have taken root in our societies, that may be fragmented or incomplete.
Painting such a vast and broad idea today in 2018, it doesn't have to just be necessarily, paint on a canvas. Specifically for this show, I'm using more acrylics, some phosphorescent acrylic polymers that actually glow in the dark. I'm also using some aerosols and spray paints too. And I'm using these specifically because they really lend themselves towards this more graphic, flat approach. This show really emerges out of this interest in how we process imagery, specifically our society today, and how we're really inundated with images, literally thousands of images on a daily basis, and how we process and regurgitate those images. Oftentimes that becomes abstracted or becomes very layered, and that's why within a lot of these images you see this very literal layering starting to happen. Even though it might be a single piece, might be around the theme of one idea or one image, I'm trying to present it in multiple different ways, kind of left for the viewer to sort of cipher out which images takes priority. A lot of the images kind of look like screen prints, even though they're not. It really grows out of this almost like subtractive drawing process where my initial drawing, and that's what you see as the white of the paper, and I'm basically taping off. I'm using a high adhesive vinyl tape, much that like auto body workers would use to paint flames on the sides of cars and things like that. I'm laying that down and kind of drawing with that tape. And then I build on top of that with more layers, and then it becomes this sort of peeling away, adding back and forth conversation. So even though they have this very graphic, almost planned quality, the actual making of them is very intuitive and very organic.
We are a team of architectural designers who are collaborating on this project. E.R.O, Experimental Research Office, and that's me and Lavender Tesmer, Alexandra Waller, and Samuel Bellhart. The name of the piece is Concrete Tapestry, and as the name implies, it's constructed of concrete. It's a Regional Art Commission grant funded project. Normal concrete construction is reinforced by steel, which gives it the tensile strength. In this piece, we are replacing the tensile strength with carbon fiber, and we have braided it into a lace pattern, borrowing from ancient and sort of medieval techniques, and then dip it in concrete. That particular technique of braiding gives the carbon fiber exceptional strength as all the strands run together and intersect one another. We were interested in a process that would use concrete in an unconventional way. Typical concrete construction is limited by formwork, which has to be built as an element that the concrete can then go into. And so not only do you have to spend all the time building the formwork, but there's also a sort of resolution gap that you can never build formwork that's going to be able to be pulled off away from the concrete once it's cured to a very high detail. So one of the main things we're exploring with concrete tapestry is the ability to create intricate, lacy, delicate forms.
We're in the space of John Howard Young, and he is a former student from the MFA program at Washington University, and he has made a body of work here of sculptures that are plush, that are really fascinating because he is coming from a Native American heritage, military family, so he moved around a lot, and he's very fascinated with some of the different cave paintings, symbols, hieroglyphics, things like that, and then he's incorporating those into his sculptures. I've been working with Bruno for 14 years, and one of the things that I know is that he has a very strong connection to the community. He really believes in presenting very high quality work here in St. Louis.